Extraction stations. Enemy cruiser foundered. Off to a great start.
Attention! Reporting the target position. Reporting the position of a strategic target. Reporting the position of a strategic target. Smoke generator started.
The enemy is about to win.
Enemy battleship foundered.
The enemy is about to win.
Concentrate fire on the designated target. stations, requesting fire on the designated target. Many thanks.
The enemy is about to win.
I need help. Using Flugabwehr Feuer.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.